My guest tonight was the very first member of Congress to call for a special counsel to investigate the Biden family over allegations of corruption and shady business dealings around the world. He says after 4 years of Democrats and the liberal media harassing President Trump over what amounted to a hill of beans, Americans deserve some real answers, and that no one, not even a Biden, should be above the law. Here is my conversation with Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, you were the very first member of Congress to call for a special counsel into the affairs of the Biden family, not just Hunter, but the connection between Joe Biden. Why do we need a special counsel and not just let the normal wheels of the Department of Justice take care of it?
Well, Mike, because if we have a change or transition of administrations, we're not going to see rank and file DOJ lawyers and investigators. They're not going to want to put their career on the line by investigating the then President Biden's family. They don't want to do that. A special counsel has a chance to survive that and actually conduct an investigation and get to the bottom of this outside of the influence and constraints of a potential Biden administration.
I think a lot of people are worried that because of Hunter Biden's close connection to China and the money that he's made from them and the potential scandal that Joe Biden himself may have gotten money from all of that, do you expect this next administration, should it indeed be inaugurated, to be soft on China and to go back to the days where we were played as chumps?
Yeah, I mean, we're already hearing that they want to eliminate many of the tariffs that we put on China. They want to get back to most favored nation status. They want to drop some of the WTO claims and complaints that we've got going. They want to even talk. There's talk about re-entering a TPP type of arrangement. So yeah, I think it's a very real threat. Joe Biden, who is the big guy that was mentioned by Bobulinski and Hunter and in those emails, he seems to have some kind of soft relationship with Xi Jinping, and that's going to be a real problem for the United States of America. And President Trump did such a great job in kind of corralling China. But China is actually asserting itself again because they know the Biden administration, if there is a Biden administration, will be incredibly soft on them.
How worried are you about the election results and whether they were on the up and up?
I'm very concerned by that. I think the vast majority of Americans, whether you're Republican or independents, are very concerned about what happened there. And we look at Georgia and we see no changes are being made to make that a better system. And you know what? In a constitutional republic, the most fundamental institution we have is that of voting. And I think we now have a majority of Americans who don't trust that institution. That's going to be very, very difficult for us going forward to get people to participate.
Congressman, being in Arizona, you're right on the border, a very critical state when it comes to border security. The president has built hundreds of miles of border. Joe Biden says if he's inaugurated and becomes president, he's going to stop any further construction of border wall, period. Good or bad idea?
Terrible idea. Probably one of the worst I've heard on regarding border security. Thank goodness I've talked to some of the border contractors. They are working double shifts to try to expand as much mileage before a transition of government. So President Trump has built 450 miles, and they're trying to get 500 miles in before January 20th. Look, we're seeing a surge already because of Biden's announced policies. 68,000 came through, were apprehended in November, and probably going to be over 100,000 apprehended this month. And Biden says he's going to have a moratorium on deportations. This actually provides incentives to come across the border, look for a surge that's larger than that spring surge of 2 years ago.
I think it's fair to say that the president should be getting a whole lot of credit for the development of a vaccine in record time. I don't see a lot of people giving him the credit other than maybe people like you and me. But this is a big deal, the fact that we might be able to see some light at the end of the tunnel. But in the House, Speaker Pelosi wants to have a mask mandate for everyone in the House, and Joe Biden says he wants a 100-day mask mandate. I'm not against protective measures, but what is the reaction on Capitol Hill to the Democrats believing that if we just mask everybody, everything's going to be okay?
Well, I think we're incredulous, quite frankly. I mean, you're talking about a mask mandate when, as the surge of cases continues, they're happening in places that we have nearly 100% compliance with masks. And so we're seeing that masks really don't work. Plus, I've got mountains of studies that demonstrate that. But this is a power grab on the part of Nancy Pelosi. And I don't know if you saw this, but when she spoke on the floor this week, she wore a mask because she now says you have to wear a mask to speak. Nobody could understand a single thing she was saying.
Yeah. Whether she has a mask on or not, we don't understand a thing she's saying, Congressman. But it's even worse when she has the mask on.
That's right.
The Democrats called for unity. Do you see there's going to even be any realistic approach? I mean, I see them say that, but then they turn around and say the most just unconscionable things about conservatives.
Yeah, it's real hard for me to take them seriously of wanting unity when they're using every name in the book filled with expletives about anybody who supported President Trump. We've got advocates on the left that are trying to take names of people who supported President Trump. They're going to go after anybody who served in the Trump cabinet or was on his staff. We have lawyers who have represented President Trump in many states where you have a member of Congress who's filed a petition to disbar those lawyers. It's hard to say, hey, yes, you guys are really warm and fuzzy after all, you bunch of leftist Marxists. We're going to come together and unite. The reality is they hate President Trump. They hate President Trump supporters, and they want to come after us. They don't even want to seat 130 of us who signed on in support of the amici brief in Pennsylvania. This is ludicrous and crazy talk. But I don't see us coming together and singing Kumbaya anytime soon.
Congressman, always a pleasure to visit with you. Thanks for what you're doing up on Capitol Hill, and hope to see you soon, early in the next year. Special thanks to Congressman Andy Biggs. You can follow him on Twitter at Rep. Andy Biggs. Also his official House page, biggs.house.gov.